রেখাতিহীনা সকলে সম্মান করিতে শকাতি দেহনাথ যথ যথ তবে তো গাইব হরিনাম সুখে অপরাধ হবে হত গুরুদেব কৃপা বিন্দু দিয়া করো এই দাসে তৃণপেখাতিহীনা কবে হেন কৃপা লভিয়ায় জানা কৃতার্থ হইবে নাথ শক্তি বুদ্ধিহীন আমি অতি দীনা কর মোরে আত্মসাৎ গুরুদেব কৃপা বিন্দু দিয়া করো এই দাসে তৃণপেখাতিহীনা যোগ্যতা বিচারে কিছু নাহি পাই তোমার করুণা সারা করুণা না হইলে কাঁদিয়া কাঁদিয়া প্রাণ না রাখিব আরো গুরুদেব কৃপা বিন্দু দিয়া করো এই দাসে তৃণপেখাতিহীনা গুরুদেব কৃপা বিন্দু দিয়া করো এই দাসে তৃণপেখাতিহীনা. Okay, so the translation goes like this. Gurudev, O spiritual master, give to this servant just one drop of mercy. So one drop of mercy, which is like kripa bindu, just one drop of mercy. I'm lower than a blade of grass. Give me all help. Give me strength. Let me be as you are, without desires or aspirations. I offer you all respects, for thus I may have the energy to know you correctly. Then, by chanting the holy name in great ecstasy, all my offenses will cease. When will such mercy fall to this one who is weak and devoid of intelligence? Allow me to be with you. If you examine me, you will find no qualities. Your mercy is all that I am made of. If you are not merciful unto me, I can only weep, and I will not be able to maintain my life. So this is a very beautiful, very powerful, and powerful expression of um, uh, humility, of like surrender to the spiritual master, that Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur is portraying and helping us understand the need for surrender to our spiritual master, whose one drop of mercy can deliver us. But we need to thoroughly surrender. We need to humble ourselves in front of our spiritual master, and that mood of being trinapekha atihina, so that like lower than a blade of grass, as that verse goes in Shikshashtakam as well, that more humble than a tree, humble than a blade of grass, more tolerant than a tree. So like that, and we are actually powerless. We cannot fight Maya all by ourselves. We need the help of our spiritual master. We need the strength that he embodies, but the strength that comes from Sri Baladev, which is the spiritual strength, to be able to fight Maya, to be able to get through this material world. And very interestingly, in that first verse, paragraph, in the English translation, you would see the last sentence is, "Let me be as you are, without desires or aspirations." So the Guru does not have any desire or aspiration which is personally motivated at a personal level, or like for just personal benefit. The Guru is always thinking of how to serve Radha and Krishna, how to serve the previous predecessor acharyas. So that is their mood. They don't do anything for themselves, and that is what the Guru is also teaching. the disciple, how to be completely surrendered to the Lord, to the Vaishnavas, to the other previous acharyas. So that I found very, very instructive. And of course, like, uh, one must offer all respects to the guru, so that like the so that we can even, like, have the ability or to understand what the guru wants us to do. We need to understand the mood of our guru and be able to act accordingly. And then, and in that spirit, we when we chant the holy name in great ecstasy, and it is saying that our all our aparad will be mitigated, because that is aparad is the biggest reason why we are not able to attain, like, we are not able to chant purely, we are not able to serve purely, because all our anarthas, which are unearthas, come into being, and the offenses that we commit, that sort of, like, dampen our spirit of devotion service. So that's interesting. And again, like, it's all mercy that can save us. So for someone who is like us, who are struggling, who are weak, who are not able to discriminate, who are not able to like, use our intelligence to know what is really beneficial for us, it's only the guru's mercy that can, save us. So Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur is an acharya of the highest caliber, and still he says in that last paragraph that, oh, if you examine me, you will find no qualities. That is the mood of a perfect disciple. A disciple does never thinks that they have anything worth. They always think of themselves as, devoid of good qualities. Always, like, they don't have that desire for feeling prestigious, or wanting to be honored, and they want to give all glories, and like to, like, give all respects to their spiritual master. So he just ends off saying that, all that we are made of is the mercy of our guru. So when we accept guru, that is the mood that we have, that whatever we are able to do in the service of the Lord, whatever anything that we are doing is actually being provided, or it's actually the impetus is coming from Guru and Krishna. So if Guru's mercy is not there, then all that we should be doing is, lamenting and begging for His mercy. Otherwise, this life will have no meaning. So yeah. So I was just curious to see if anyone had any further thoughts on this. Yeah.
So one time somebody asked Prabhupada, please give me your mercy. And Prabhupada said, I have already given you my instructions. My instructions are my mercy, and then you have to follow them. So we get the mercy of the spiritual master when we try to follow the instructions, but also we don't have the strength. So yeah, we can pray. So both things are there. That please let me follow your instructions as we chant the holy name. We can pray to the spiritual master.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes, yes, yes.
Maybe it's late, Prabhu. I'll recite the pastime tomorrow. Okay. So, so I'm reciting one Radha Krishna pastime every day so we can meditate on being in Vrindavan. So wherever we are, we should mentally reside in Vrindavan. That's what I heard from Indradumna Maharaj. So it was a month of Magh during Krishna Paksha. After finishing his daily activities like milking the cows, playing kabaddi, taking bath and eating, Krishna went to Vrindavan to graze the cows along with his cowherd friends. After some time, Krishna left the cowherds and went for a walk in the forest with Madhumangal. He was enjoying the beautiful flowers of Vasanta season, the king of all seasons. Krishna was very eager to meet with Radharani. When he saw the beauty of the trees with newly sprouted leaves and flowers of spring, Krishna started to play on his flute, standing in his threefold bending form under the Keli Kadamba tree at the bank of river Yamuna, calling the name of Radha. When Radharani heard the sweet sound of Vamshi, she was very eager to meet with Krishna. She had cooked varieties of sweets and cakes for Krishna and had prepared chandan and flower garlands for Krishna. Her Sakhis dressed her very nicely and decorated her with varieties of ornaments. Then, like every other day, on the pretext of performing Surya Puja and Makar Snan, she left Yavat with the desire to meet with Sri Krishna. So she says to her mother-in-law that she is going for Surya Puja, but that's just a pretext for meeting Krishna. By the order of Purnamashi, Vrinda Devi had prepared a flower bed inside the Vamshivat Kunj. Vamshivat is a place where Krishna plays on his flute to attract the gopis for the ras dance. We visited that place in Vrindavan. So Vrinda Devi, who arranges all the conjugal pastimes of Radha Krishna in Vrindavan, Purnamashi arranges all other Krishna's pastimes in Vrindavan. So Vrinda Devi has prepared a flower bed for Radha Krishna in the Vamshivat Kunj. Krishna saw Vrinda Devi and told her, "O Vrinde, the beauty of Vasanta, the king of all seasons, and the beauty of the forest and flowers are increasing my eagerness to meet with Radharani. Please arrange my meeting with her. I have called her by playing my Vamshi. I hope she will come here soon." Vrinda Devi said, "Whatever you have ordered, I will do immediately. I will bring Radha very soon. Please come inside the kunja and wait." After some time, Radharani arrived with Lalita and other Sakhis. Krishna was very happy to see Radha. Lalita and Vishakha arranged Radharani to sit on the left side of Krishna on the flower bed. Then they smeared chandan on their bodies and decorated them with flower garlands. Lalita offered arati while the other Sakhis sang and clapped their hands. After offering a ghee lamp, they fanned both Sri Krishna and Radharani with a cloud white chamar. Then, with auspicious uludhvani, all the Sakhis offered Pushpanjali to Kishori and Kishore. So, this is like that song, Radha Krishna Pranamura Jugala Kishore. Jeevana Marane Gati Aur Nahi More. How the gopis, they are serving Radha and Krishna. They're sitting them on the jeweled asan. They're, smearing their bodies with the sandalwood paste. They're fanning them with chamara, whisk. They're stringing garlands and putting them on their necks and offering them tambula like that. So this is what the spiritual world is like, where all the sakhis and manjaris and gopis, they are serving Radha and Krishna, where Radha and Krishna are the hero and heroine, as we were discussing. Giraj Maharaj was saying, rest everybody is a supporting cast. Radha and Krishna are in the center. They are the enjoyers. While Radharani and Sri Krishna were thus enjoying their blissful pastimes, Kutila approached the Kunja. Kutila was always eager to find some fault with Radharani. She approached very quietly and looked through a hole in the Kunja. There she saw Radharani and Sri Krishna sitting together on the flower bed. Previously, Kotila had informed her brother Abhimanyu that Radharani and Sri Krishna always met with each other in the Kunja, but he never believed her. Kotila thought, today I must bring my brother here and show him. When he personally sees this, then he will believe it. Kotila hurried to the cow pastures where she met Abhimanyu and told him, I have told you so many times that Radha meets with Krishna in the forest, but you never believe me. Now please come with me and see for yourself. They are sitting inside a secluded kunja on a flower bed. Then you will believe it. Abhimanyu said, if what you are saying is true, if you can show it to me, then I will arrange proper punishment for Krishna. And never again I will let Radha go out of the house for Surya Puja. Then Kutla and Abhimanyu, with a stick in his hand, went towards the kunja. Abhimanyu was very angry. Vrinda Devi was guarding the kunja. When she saw that Kutla and Abhimanyu were approaching the kunja, shouting and screaming, immediately she informed Radharani. When Radharani heard that Kutla and Abhimanyu were there, she became very frightened. She told Krishna, Oh Prannath, just see, both Kutla and my husband Abhimanyu are coming towards this kunja. If my husband sees us together, then he will become very angry and kick me out of the house. He is coming towards here like Yamaraj, ready to kill me. Where can I go now? I am going to leave my body now, meditating on your lotus feet. Please save me from this danger. I take shelter of your lotus feet. Krishna pacified Radharani and said, do not be worried. Have you ever heard that anyone has died untimely by meditating on the feet of Krishna? Your husband is a devotee of Kali. Now I will accept the form of Kali. You pretend to worship me and sit next to my feet. Both Sri Krishna and Radharani, along with her associates, acted according to Krishna's plan. At this time, Abhimanyu arrived at the kunja in an angry mood, asking Kutila, where is that most fallen son of Nanda? Where is that Kul Kalankini Radha? Show me them immediately. Today I shall give them proper punishment. Krishna transformed himself into the four-armed form of Shyama Kali, holding different weapons in his hands. Java flower garlands on his neck and sindoor on his forehead, wearing blood-red cloth, his flute hidden in his cloth. He showed his long tongue just like Kali. Sitting at his lotus feet, Radharani was pretending to offer Kali Puja, holding some flowers in her hand. At this time, Abhimanyu entered the kunja in an angry mood. He forced his way in, but he did not find Krishna. Instead, he saw his worshipable Devi Shyama Kali standing there in her four-armed form. His wife Radha was worshipping Kali with focused attention. When Abhimanyu saw his worshipable Kali Devi face to face, immediately he offered his prayers and obeisances. After offering his humble obeisances at the feet of Krishna, Abhimanyu stood in front of him with folded hands. Then, looking towards his sister Kotila in a very angry mood, he said, Kotila, where is Krishna? All I see here is Radha so devotionally serving the lotus feet of Mother Bhagavati, which are remembered even by Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva. My most chaste wife is offering flowers at Devi's lotus feet. You are calling such a chaste lady like my wife a woman of no character? All blame to you. Today I will excuse you, but if you ever falsely give a bad name to my good wife, Radha, then I will punish you and throw you out of my house. When Kutila was chastised by her brother like this, she felt great shame and lowered her head. Then Abhimanyu said to Radharani, Srimati, you are very blessed. You are most pious. You are the most chaste. There is no one more chaste in Vraj Mandal. Today my desire has been fulfilled. After so long, all my doubts about you have been cleared. From now on, I will not tolerate anyone blaspheming you. Please continue your worship to Mother Bhagavati in peace without anxiety. I am now going to graze the cows. After saying this, Abhimanyu offered his obeisances to Mother Kali and left the kunja along with Kotila. After they left, Krishna again accepted his own real form. The Sakhis arranged a bed for Sri Krishna and Radharani to sit together, and they offered them nice fruits to eat. Radharani offered sweets and cakes to Krishna that she had brought from her home. Then all the Sakhis served Sri Krishna sweet fruit juice. After eating, Krishna washed his hands and took betel nuts. Then Radha and all the Sakhis took the remnants of Krishna. Then the Sakhis put both Krishna and Radharani on a flower swing to perform swing pastimes for some time. After taking some rest and enjoying with Sri Radha and her Sakhis, Sri Krishna went back to her to graze the cows. Radharani went to Surya Kund for puja along with all her Sakhis, and after finishing puja, she returned to Yavat. So these are the afternoon pastimes. So Krishna, as he is herding the cows in the pastures, he's always, thinking of Radharani, and then he comes, leaving his friends behind. He comes and performs pastimes with Radharani in the afternoon also. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you for sharing last time. It's from the Ashtakalya Leela.
This is from the Bhakti Purushottam Maharaj's
Last
book,
time.
Radharani.
Yes. Okay. So Krishna can become Kali. I was reminded of that pastime where Krishna became the husband. No, he became the son of that Gopi.
Yes.
When Yashoda.
Gopi had caught Krishna when he was stealing butter, and she wanted to take him to Yashoda to show that she caught Krishna red-handed. And as she comes in to Yashoda and she complains, Yashoda is not able to believe what she's saying because Krishna has taken the form of her son.
So Krishna can transform into anything. In any form he can. So here he transformed into the form of Kali.
Right. For Gangadas Pandit, Krishna transformed into a boatman to save him when he was about to commit suicide. The Ganges, when Muslims were behind him. And for one person, he took the form of a doctor. In Mahaprakash Lila, it's mentioned.
Yeah, and in Vrikasur pastime he came as a Brahmana.
Yeah.
To save.
And when he was trying to run away from the gopis, he took the form of Narayan, but he could not maintain his disguise in front of Radharani.
Sometimes his powers don't work before his devotees. So, yeah, that's Radharani. He could not maintain his disguise as Narayan. Similarly, in Damodar Leela, Krishna was sitting on the mortar and he was thinking, if Yashoda comes to catch me, I will become
Atom.
become an atom and hide in the mortar. I'll make myself invisible like an atom and hide as an atom. But when Yashoda came and he tried to become small like an atom, his powers were not working. So Krishna's powers don't work before his devotees' love. So he also breaks his own promise because of his devotees' love. So, like Arjuna, to protect Arjuna, he picked up the chariot wheel. And to protect Bhishma's promise also, he picked up the chariot wheel. So, like that, when his devotees want something, then Krishna is. Krishna, the most valuable thing Krishna thinks is that he has the love of his devotees. That's the most valuable thing. We were hearing that class by Radhanath Maharaj yesterday. He was saying how when that fruit vendor came and gave fruits to Krishna, then Krishna took those fruits, which were actually the love of that fruit vendor, that lady who used to live in the forest, and Krishna was distributing that fruit to Yashoda, and Yashoda called everybody and they were giving, and the fruits were not diminishing, although Krishna could only carry maybe 10, 12 fruits in his hand or even less. And Yashoda was distributing that fruit to all the others, her friends and everybody, and the fruits were not diminishing. Similarly, Prabhupada took this fruit of love of God and is distributing, and he's asking us all to distribute also. in the form of his books and his teachings and like that. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, I am a gardener,
God.
that has only
Two hands.
Two
How
hands.
many? How many can I distribute?
so I need help. In this way, like they asked Prabhupada that, if Lord Chaitanya was all powerful, he could have spread Krishna consciousness everywhere. But why did he not do it? Then Prabhupada very humbly said, because
Left for me to do it.
he reserved the credit for me. In a humble way, he was saying that. So Krishna could do it himself, but he always likes his devotees to get credit. Like in Arjuna also in battle, he says, I have already killed them. Now you take the credit. And so like that, Krishna does everything, but he likes to give credit to his devotees. He is the only one who gives the ability to any devotee to speak or say anything or do any service. So
Also, he was saying yesterday, the fruit lady, she gave the fruits to Krishna, and her basket was filled with all sorts of jewels. She didn't realize that, so because she wanted to go to the forest to get more fruits, and when she realized that okay, her basket is filled with jewels, she threw all the jewels and filled the basket again with fruits, so she can come again and give it to Krishna. So for a devotee, other things are worthless, things that are not giving pleasure to Krishna. So she thought Krishna likes fruits, let me fill my basket with fruits, and she threw away all her jewels.
yes, I think it's Jiva Goswami, he was saying, Jiva Goswami mentions
Yeah, we have read that pastime, and Narayan Maharaj's book, it's explained in more detail, because in Bhagavatam it's very small.
sometimes they say that she threw it in the Yamuna
Yeah, correct.
also.
And then she went mad in love for Krishna, and maybe she drowned herself or something.
But she came back again in this, what Maharaj was saying, that she came back again with fruits.
Correct.
And then again Krishna took. Yeah, so there may be some, I don't know, variation. But I was also thinking of that pastime where Sanatan Goswami, that devotee of Lord Shiva, comes to Sanatan Goswami because he wants to become very wealthy and he gets a touchstone.
Mm-hmm.
And then Sanatan Goswami says, yes, that touchstone you want is lying in that garbage. And then he takes it, and then as he's walking back, he's thinking, well, he must be having something more valuable. Otherwise, why he kept the touchstone in the garbage? And then Sanatan Goswami says, okay, go and throw the touchstone in the Yamuna and come back, I'll give you. So similarly, like this lady who dumped all her to fill her basket with again fruits to give to Krishna, he threw away the touchstone to come back to Sanatan Goswami to get the holy name. So it's like Sankri Kaur, right? If you have other things in your heart, you cannot get Krishna in your heart. So you have to empty your heart of other things so you can put Krishna in the heart.
प्रेम गली अति सांखरी दुई न समाए जब मैं था तो हरि नहीं अभी हरि है तो मैं नहीं. The road of prema is very narrow. You can have only one thing. You cannot have many things, only one thing, which is Krishna prema. I mean, love for Krishna, not our own false ego.
Yeah, like this song that Acharya Prabhu sang was that, yeah, we have to take out all other desires so we can keep that singular desire. Let me be as you are without desires or aspiration. Means without all material desires. We cannot be free from desires, but without all material desires, then you can have the singular desire of serving Krishna in your heart. Vyavasaitmika buddhi you can have. But if you have, yeah, generally we say, I want to serve Krishna, but I also maintain my desires for sense gratification and all this enjoyment and everything in this material world. So that's not the singular desire. That's one of the many desires we have. So I want to serve Krishna also, and I also want to engage in sense gratification, and so you don't get Krishna in that. Because they say, of course, they say, well, sense gratification, yeah, so it has to be done in a regulated way. Then ultimately you have to become free from the desire. I was thinking as you were describing the pastime of Radha and Krishna and how Vrinda Devi and other gopis are making arrangements, it is easy, very easy to become envious, right? Oh, wish I could be Krishna, right? So maybe we thought like that. Wish I
Or
could
I
be,
could be Radharani.
or I could be Radharani. I could enjoy like Radharani. I could enjoy like Krishna, something like that. So we came to this material world. So when Krishna is dancing with the gopis, then we may say, well, Krishna is in the center. Everybody's, maybe I can. But yeah, that's how we came in this material world. Chadvesha samuthena dvanda mohina bharata samoham sarvabhutani sarge yanti parantapa. Out of envy of the Lord, dvesha. So we came, but the thing is, we want to enjoy. We are anandamaya bhyasat. So, but our enjoyment is more when we serve Krishna than when we try to become the enjoyer. That is what we have to realize. That when I give enjoyment, if we realize this, if we can perceive this, if we can experience this, that I can enjoy more when I serve Krishna than when I put myself as the enjoyer. So that's the whole crux of it's like the turning point when you realize this, that as you are saying, Radha Krishna are the heroine and we are the cast. Hero and the heroine, we are the cast, but it's the other way around, as Giriraj Maharaj was saying in that lecture. So, because we think that, and that thing has been very deep rooted in us, so we are thinking that if I put myself in the center, then I will enjoy. So to get rid of that only happens when you chant Hare Krishna nicely and you experience that taste of serving Krishna. Then, and you have experienced that the misery of sense gratification. Both things are there. The pleasure of serving Krishna and the misery of sense gratification. Then you can say, yes, I don't want this, I want that. So, otherwise it doesn't, yeah. Still, we have our legs in both the boats. I'm talking about myself, not you all, but how it is. Okay. Any comments, anything to say? Okay, because we'll reach Srimad Bhagavatam. Let's see where we are. We finished this chapter. Or we were reading. Let's see where. Okay, so I'll read some part of this. There are many examples, but at the present moment, if you simply hear about Krishna, that is sufficient. God has given us ears, and we need only go to a realized soul and hear about Krishna from Him. This is the process recommended for this age because people are very fallen and are uneducated. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu recommends that we search out a devotee regardless of our position. There is no need to change our position. It is better to remain where we are and simply hear about Krishna. So, by hearing about Krishna, everything will change. So, in the beginning, you don't have to change anything. You just add Krishna, like so many devotees, and then everything will change because of Krishna. The main thing that we need to change is our consciousness, not any external situation, but we have to change our consciousness. And if changing our external situation helps in changing our consciousness, then it is welcome. So, but main thing is we have to change our internal consciousness, because just by changing the external situation, as Prabhupada would often say, it's not like by putting on the garb of a sannyasi you become a sannyasi. Sannyasi means you have to be in the consciousness like that. So consciousness has to change from I am the enjoyer to Krishna is the enjoyer. I am the proprietor to Krishna is the proprietor. I am the controller to Krishna is the controller. So that's the change of consciousness, and that happens by hearing about Krishna from the self-realized soul. Sthane sthita shruti katam tanuvan manobhi. Lord Brahma is saying, Jnane prayasa udapasya namanti eva jivanti sanmukharitam bhavadiyavartam. Sthane sthita shruti katam tanuvan manobhi. Ye prayasho ajito jito apiyasi. Tais trilokyam. He says that the ajita becomes jita by hearing about Krishna without any motive. So when we hear, we just want to get purified. That's the only motive. Krishna consciousness movement is meant to give everybody an opportunity to hear about Krishna. Krishna is within everyone's heart, and as soon as he sees that one is interested in him, he helps. This is the beginning of bhakti. Shinvatam swakatha Krishna punya shravana kirtana vidantasto hi abhadrani vidunoti surit satam. So, even if you don't understand this philosophy, will be purified if we hear what Krishna says. So Prabhupada says, just sit down and hear the chanting of Hare Krishna. Means you chant Hare Krishna and just hear the vibration. And just by putting yourself in the vibration of the holy name, then your consciousness will change. If you hear nicely. Everything starts with hearing, right? Prabhupada also chanted in Tompkins Square Park. He was chanting. And then he was giving lectures in 26 Second Avenue. And people were coming, and then everything started by them hearing. Everything started from hearing Srila Prabhupada. His chanting, his classes. So like that, the hearing has, even the sound is so much powerful, especially the spiritual sound, vibration, which has been recorded in the print form in his books. It is those words that describe the glories of the Lord are meant to create a revolution in the lives of the people. Right? That verse is there. Nayad vachaschitra padam hariryasho. Is that the verse or the other one? Yasmin pratishlokam abhaddhavatyapi. Tadvag visarga janata ga viplavo.
Yes.
Yeah. Janta means the people. Viplavo is the boat, I think, or it's revolution that is caused in the lives of people. Janata, agha means the sinful lives of people. Those words that describe the pastimes and the glories of the Lord, like that, are meant to bring about a revolution in the lives of the people. Tadvag visarga janata ka viplavo. Yasmin pratishlokam abhaddhavatyapi. Namani ankitani. Namani.
Namani तस्य विश्वोऽङ्कितानि यत् शृण्वन्ति गायन्ति गृह्णन्ति साधु.
So, the words are meant to create about like change our consciousness. It'll create a revolution in our consciousness if we hear the words of the pure devotees. That's why we should hear Prabhupada's. Of course, we are reading Prabhupada's books, which is also his Vani. When pure devotees speak, then it's like. So, even if you do not understand this philosophy, we will be purified if we hear what Krishna says. So, like so many things we were attached to before, now we are not interested in that. How it came about? By hearing. This is the whole process of Hari Sankirtan. And hearing is done in the association of devotees. So, association is like we have DT devotee Nam Dham Bhagavatam. So, out of the 5 potent items of devotional service, out of 64, the 5 are very potent, and of them, the most potent is association of devotees, because in that association of devotees, you hear about Krishna, and all the other things happen. One doesn't have to even understand what this Hare Krishna is. Only one has to hear to be purified. Unless one is purified, one cannot understand God. There are many contaminations with the heart, and people are engaged in many sinful activities: illicit sex, meat eating, intoxication, and gambling. The whole world is revolving about these things, yet despite this, we have to spread this Krishna consciousness movement. There may be many obstacles, but they can all be transcended by Krishna's mercy. Like, I think in one purport, Prabhupada says we should pray to Lord Nrsingadev, and Lord Nrsingadev, just as Prahlad Maharaj had many obstacles in his performance of bhakti because he was being tortured constantly. So this we pray to, I think in the 10th canto he says, right, that somewhere are reading that in one purport, that praying to Lord Nrsingadev and Prahlad Maharaj remove all obstacles. We only have to be determined in our devotion, the rest will follow. So determination is the key. But determination doesn't come so easy. So, like, I have very less determination. I'm trying to work on it to build up the determination. But we have to build up our determination. And that determination will build up when we put ourselves in an environment where we have determined devotees around us. So by seeing them, then we will become determined. That's the best way to develop determination. You have to put yourself in an environment where there are determined devotees. And just like if you live in a temple, like there is no excuse. You have to come to Mangala Arati, right? You have to follow the regimen, in the sense that, yeah, whatever is the program, you have to follow it. You can't say, no, I don't know what to do. So you automatically become like, you come in that whole cycle. Every day you get up, do Tulsi Puja, chant Hare Krishna. It's like, and at home, if your family is not determined, they are not waking up in the morning, they are not chanting Hare Krishna, then your determination will go down. But if everybody sits in the temple room, everybody is getting up early, and you see everybody chanting japa together in the temple room like that, then your determination becomes stronger. Everybody is doing it, let me do also. So determination comes by association with those who are determined. Prabhupada was so determined, and he could give that determination to so many others. So much so that they dedicated their whole life to Krishna. That determination also is based on faith. As much faith as you have, that much you are willing to pursue the goal and be determined. Like many people have the faith that if I become a doctor, my life will become very, very blissful, in the sense that I will be able to earn a lot of money and it will be a very lucrative career. I will be able to enjoy Some people may have, oh, I'll be able to help people by becoming a Lord, whatever it is. But the more you have faith in your aspirations, the more you'll be determined to pursue your goals. So somebody has that faith that by following this process, I will come to a situation of permanent bliss and happiness by following Krishna consciousness. I'll go back home, back to Godhead or whatever it is. I'll become Krishna conscious, and you have faith. Then you will be very determined. Everybody is working based on their faith. Shraddha, I was hearing Vaisheshika Prabhu sometime here. He was saying Shraddha means where you put your heart. Where you put your heart into what you feel. That's where you will pursue Shraddha. Where you place your heart. That's what. So we have to put, and we place our heart based on the culture around us and our desires for enjoyment. Wherever we feel I'm going to get happiness, that is where I put my heart, and according to that we will act. So okay, so we have to put our heart in Krishna. This is the essence of Lord Kapila's instruction to his mother. Okay, anything else anybody like to say?
I was just thinking about that verse as you were talking about Shraddha, faith, where in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Shraddha Shabda Vishwash kahe Shuddhida Nischay Krishna Bhakti koile Sarva Karma Krit hoy. So it goes like Shraddha is confident, firm faith that by rendering transcendental loving service to Krishna, one automatically performs all subsidiary activities. Such faith is favorable to the discharge of devotional service. So having that strong faith will keep us going forward. I mean, just adding to what you're saying, bro.
Yes. Faith is also enhanced by experience. And when you feel the bliss of bhakti or like that, then also faith is increased. And when you see others also who have that faith and how happy they are, then also our faith is enhanced. So like that. So it's all about faith. And advanced devotee means advanced faith. Neophyte means his faith is very fragile. Advanced devotees means their faith is strong. And it is not blind faith, because they have, for one thing, they have perceived the results of their faith by practicing bhakti. They have perceived, they have got realization also. So, and yeah, okay. So faith in the words of the acharyas, Srila Prabhupada, like that. This is the faith. We have to put our faith in the Guru Mukha Padma Vakya Chitete Koriyakya Harana Koriyo Mane Asha. So we are reading all these books of Prabhupada. So we have to have faith. What he's saying is true. Okay, so next verse, next chapter. This is Fundamental Principles of Material Nature. Shri Bhagavan Vacha Athate Sampravakshyami Tattvanam Lakshanam Pritak Yad Viditva Vimuccheta Purusha Prakritir Gune. The personality of Godhead Kapila continued. My dear mother, now I shall describe unto you different categories of the Absolute Truth, knowing which any person can be released from the influence of the modes of material nature. So there are categories of Absolute Truth. Let's see what he says later on. As stated in Bhagavad Gita, one can understand the Supreme Personality of God, the Absolute Truth, only through devotional service, bhaktya mamu vijanati, As stated in Bhagavatam, the object of devotional service is Mam, Krishna, or Nam, Mam and Nam. And then, as explained in Chaitanya Charitamrita, to understand Krishna means to understand Krishna in his personal form with his internal energy, his external energy, and his expansions and his incarnations. So Krishna has multifarious energies, they say. Parasha Shakti Vivadaiva Shruyate Swabhaviki Jnana Balakriya Cha. So we are Tatashta Shakti, there is Antaranga Shakti, and there is Bahiranga Shakti. So internal energy, Antaranga Shakti, Bahiranga Shakti, this Maya, illusory energy, his expansions, his Anshas, Swansha and Vipinansha, like that also. There are many diverse departments of knowledge in understanding Krishna. Sankhya philosophy is especially meant for persons who are conditioned by this material world. It is generally understood by the Parampara system or by disciplic succession to be the science of devotional service. Preliminary studies of devotional service have already been explained. Now the analytical study of devotional service will be explained by the Lord, who says that by such an analytical study one becomes freed from the modes of material nature. The same assertion is confirmed in Bhagavad Gita. Tato mam tatvato gyatva. Which verse is it? Tato mam tatvato gyatva.
Vishite
I think it-
tadantam. Bhaktya mam avajanati. Chashmi tatvatah tato mam tatvato jnanata vishite tadanantaram.
By understanding the Lord according to various categories, one can become eligible to enter into the kingdom of God. This is also explained here. By understanding the science of devotional service in Sankhya philosophy, one can become free from the modes of material nature. Because by understanding all this Sankhya philosophy, you will surrender to God. Then you can become free from the modes of material nature. The eternal self, after becoming free, Devi Asha Gunamahimam Maya Duratya. The eternal self, or by engaging in devotional service. That surrendering means you engage according to Krishna's instruction. Whatever you want me to do, I will do. And Krishna says, you engage Satatam Kirtayanto Mam Manmana Bhava Mad Bhakto Madhyaji Mam Namaskuru. So, then Mamcha Yogya Vicharena Bhakti Yogena Sevate Sargunan Samiti Detan Brahma Bhuyaya Kalpate. So by engaging in devotional service, then we will become free from the influence of modes of nature. The heart will become purified by engaging in devotional service. The eternal self, after becoming freed from the spell of material nature, becomes eligible to enter into the kingdom of God. So when the subtle body dissolves and the pure soul becomes eligible to enter into the kingdom of God. As long as even one has a slight desire to enjoy or lord it over material nature, there is no chance of his being freed from the influence of nature's material modes. Prabhupada makes it like very difficult. As long as one has even a slight desire to enjoy or lord it over material nature, there is no chance of his being freed from the influence of nature's material modes. That means it's our desire, right? Our desires. As long as we have desires then we can't become free from the influence of material modes of nature. So, but then how can we become free from this? All these desires, material desires. That's again only by experiencing higher taste. Therefore, one has to understand the Supreme Personality of God analytically, as explained in the Sankhya system of philosophy by Lord Kapila Deva. Or you just surrender and you just say, yes, Krishna is saying it's not good, I accept it. I don't have to experience it. I will just accept it, and I will just accept blindly what Krishna says, which is good because that's the right thing. Even if you accept the right thing blindly, that's good for you. So you may not have had realization of what Krishna is saying, asashvatam dukkhalayam and all these things. But because Krishna is said and we believe it, we are saved. That's all. You don't have to. Otherwise, you can go the other route of experiencing it. Like we say, intelligence by hearing, intelligence by seeing, intelligence by experiencing, and intelligence which doesn't understand, which not doesn't learn. So the best way is just Krishna says it, I accept it. That's it. No more research into all these things. I accept it. Krishna is saying, just take it at face value. Krishna is saying yes. Krishna is saying surrender to me, just I surrender. That's it. No questions asked. But because our mind is complex and like that, it's not so easy. But Krishna consciousness is very simple for the simple. Prabhupada would say like that. If you're simple hearted and you just accept what Krishna says, it's like easy. You save yourself so much trouble. Because ultimately you have to come to the point of surrendering to Krishna. Bahunam janmanamante jnanavan mam prapadyate. So instead of going about a roundabout way and then coming to the same point, why not directly go to this point? That's why Prabhupada says you can surrender to Krishna in a moment. Instead of going through all the species of life and experiencing all the trouble and then one day coming to the point. So like that. So you just accept what Krishna says as the truth. Okay, so Jnanam nihishreya sa arthaya purusha shreyatma darshanam yadahur varnaye tatte hridaya granthi bhedanam. Hridaya granthi again, not in the heart, by which we are attached to this material world. It's not like a physical knot, but all our subtle attachments by which we are rooted to this material world, to this banyan tree of material existence, is bhedanam. Bhedanam means cut. Vidyate hridaya granthi, chidyante sarva sanshaya, shiyante chashya karmani, drishta evatmanishvare. There also it is described. Knot in the heart is cut. Knowledge is the ultimate perfection of self-realization. So sadhu means one who cuts our false conceptions. Knowledge is the ultimate perfection of self-realization. I shall explain that knowledge unto you, by which the knots of attachment to the material world are cut. And when you become, when the knot is cut, you feel like, oh, it's so nice. For so many years, I was tied by this knot of sense gratification. Now I'm free. When you become free from, it's like a heavy load has gone off your heart. When you become free from lust, anger, greed, it's now you're a free man. You're like free man or free woman, whatever. But yeah, you're free and you can be very joyful. Brahmabhuta prasannatma nasochati na kangshati. And your heart is not like hankering for all these attachments. And then you are free. You realize you are the soul and you are part and parcel of Krishna. Samasarveshu bhuteshu mad bhakti labhate param. So you become, it's like right now we are running, but we have a load on our shoulder. So that running is not fast. But you just have to drop the load. You just have to drop the load. And if you drop, means drop those desires that are not favorable. Just drop the desires for sense gratification. And then you can run very fast to Krishna. Like that picture was there, right? The devotee wants to approach Krishna, but then he's being pulled back by Kam, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsarya. So it's like we are trying and they are pulling us back. So you just cut or drop the load, then you can run fast. And then you can be very happy. Right? So in material life, we think the more I possess and the more I get attached to all these things, then I'll become very happy. But spiritual life means the more you drop all these desires to enjoy, then you'll be happy. It's diametrically opposed to material life. the consciousness in material life. That's why Krishna says what is day for the spiritualist is night for the materialist. And Yanisha Sarva Bhutanam Tasyam Jagriti Samyami. Right?
Nisyam Jagati Bhutani Sanisha
Nisha
Pashatam.
Okay. It is said that by proper understanding of the pure self or by self-realization, one can be freed from material attachment. All this is about renunciation. Prabhupada's books are all about. Knowledge leads one to attain the ultimate perfection of life and to see oneself as he is. So knowledge is very powerful and it can change. The Shvetashvatar Upanishad also confirms this. Tam eva viditvati mrityumiti. Simply by understanding one's spiritual position or by seeing oneself as he is. So we have to just see who we are, actually. One can be freed from material entanglement. So just that you realize that I am spirit, soul, not this body, then you can be freed from material entanglement. I have nothing to do with this world around me. And in various ways, the seeing of oneself is described in Vedic literatures as it is confirmed in Bhagavatam. Purushasya Atma Darshanam. Here it is, Purushasya Atma Darshanam. Atma Darshanam means, darshan means to see who you are, self, Atma. That self-realization, to see who we are. So right now we are not seeing who we are seeing differently because we are reflected by Maya, we are thinking I am this body. As Kapila Dev explains to his mother, of course we know theoretically that we are soul. As Kapila Dev explains to his mother, this thing can be done by hearing from the proper authoritative source. Shastra Chakshu. By seeing can be done properly by hearing from proper authoritative source. So Kapila Dev is the greatest authority because he is the personality of Godhead. And if someone accepts whatever is explained as it is, without interpretation, then he can see himself. So many times people say, I have Bhagavad Gita, then we have to ask them, do you have Bhagavad Gita as it is? Yes, you have Bhagavad Gita, but do you have this Bhagavad Gita as it is? So we have to, only when you hear things as they are and not give your interpreted, opinions, then you can derive the actual benefit. If you interpret and you try to, rationalize and you try to prove yourself very intelligent, then you can't get the benefit. You take Krishna's word as it is. Krishna says, surrender to me, that's it. Surrender to Krishna, that's it. No more interpretation in this. Like Krishna says, bow down to me, yes, bow down to Krishna. Like Prabhupada says, it is not Krishna who is speaking, it is some impersonal within Krishna who is speaking, like that. So many things they have interpreted like that. And then ultimately they say, God is impersonal. So Lord Chaitanya explained to Sanatana Goswami the real constitutional position of the individual. He said directly that each and every individual soul is eternally a servitor of Krishna. So if we understand this line, Jivere Swarupoy Krishna Nitya Das, if we understand this very deeply, that I am servant of Krishna and I should engage in service of Krishna, that's my original Swarup, then that's it, you are liberated. Mukti hitva anyatha rupam swarupena vyavastiti. So if we are, mukti means to be situated in our constitutional position, which is Jivera Swarupai Krishna Nitya Das. If I start believing this, I am servant of Krishna, and I start acting on it, and I am servant of Krishna. So whatever I do, I am doing it as service to Krishna. Then you are liberated. Even in this life, ihayasya haridasya karmana manasa gira nikulasva vyavastashu jivan mukta sochate. Every individual soul is eternally a servitor, and when one is fixed in the understanding that he is part and parcel of the Supreme Soul, so I am servant of Krishna, I am not servant of anybody else. And of course, his devotees. I'm servant of the devotees of the devotees. Gopi Bharatapada Kamale or Dasa Dasanudas. Or I am servant of other living entities, but in a way that I will give them Krishna. So that's how I serve everybody, by connecting them with Krishna. So not that I'm servant and I try to, they want to gratify their senses and I oblige by facilitating their desires for sense gratification. That's not service. That's actually disservice because you are making them more entangled in the complexities of this birth and death and this material world. So you're not, you may be thinking that you're doing good by helping their desires for sense gratification, but actually you're doing a disservice because those things will take them away from Krishna and they'll continue to suffer in the cycle of birth and death. So every individual soul is eternally a servitor, and when one is fixed in the understanding that is part and parcel of the Supreme Soul, and when he is in that understanding, he sees everybody else in that way also. As that Bhagavatam class Giriraj Maharaj was giving in Sadhu Sangha, he was saying that the mercy of the Supreme Lord is that he becomes a Pandita and he understands that he is spirit soul, and then he sees everybody as spirit soul, and then he does not make distinction between friends and enemies because he's just like me. I'm part and parcel of Krishna, I'm servant of Krishna. This other Jiva is also part and parcel of Krishna and he's also servant of Krishna. So we see the world based on our own consciousness. Atmavan manyate jagat. So we see through the filter of our own consciousness. So basically, the way we see ourselves, we see others also. And that his eternal position is to serve in association with the Supreme Lord. He becomes self-realized. And in that service is enjoyment. Because we may think, well, service, where is the enjoyment? Because right now we think like I do 5 days service and 2 days I enjoy on the weekend. So there is a distinction between service and enjoyment. But in spiritual life, the service itself is enjoyment. We are doing service in this world because we want to retire. So we have enough for retirement so we can enjoy life. That's why most people, if they have enough money, they will retire immediately. Nobody wants to work. Some people want to, but generally everybody is looking forward to, because you don't have enough money, so you can't. So you're doing service, and so if you had enough money, who will want to work? Nobody will work because everybody wants to enjoy. So, but here service is like nobody likes it. But service to Krishna is liked because it gives enjoyment, and service to the material world gives distress. So this position of rightly understanding oneself cuts the knot of material attraction. Hridaya Granthi Bhedanam. So, if you understand who we are, then it cuts the knot of material attraction. Due to false ego or false identification of oneself with the body and the material world, one is entrapped by Maya. But as soon as one understands that he is qualitatively the same substance as the Supreme Lord, because he belongs to the same category of spirit soul, and that his perpetual position is to serve, one attains Atma Darshanam and Hridaya Granthi Bhedanam, self-realization. So I have nothing to really gain. Why am I? Of course, you can work for Krishna. But that's ultimately, you give up all your attachments, because what is this attachments? Nothing is going to come with me. But the ultimate desire is to enjoy. That's why we have this attachment. Through the attachment, we want to enjoy. If I have a nice phone, like nice car, I feel like I possess something, and that same car until you possessed it, was also existing. But there was no enjoyment because you were not thinking this is mine. But when you think this is mine, this is my house now. So now I can use the way I like it. So I can take my car wherever I want. I have control over this, and that gives you enjoyment. Now I am the proprietor of this thing or this person or whatever. Now this belongs to me, and that's what gives the enjoyment. But if you, yeah, but then it is going to be taken away because as time goes on. So instead of thinking it belongs to me, it belongs to Krishna. That will give you higher enjoyment. And Krishna is so kind that he has given it to me to use it in his service. So that will give you higher, that conception gives us higher enjoyment. Krishna is so kind and he has given it to me to use it in his service. And when we use it in his service, then we get enjoyment. So that's how. In material consciousness also you get janasya mohayam aham mameti, from feeling that this is mine and I and mine. So there also there is some enjoyment. But that enjoyment is meager compared to the other enjoyment. Of course, we have to realize this. But, so when one can cut the knot of attachment to the material world, his understanding is called knowledge. So knowledge is meant to cut the knot of attachment. So to the material world. When one can cut the knot of attachment to the material world, his understanding is called knowledge. Atma Darshanam means to see oneself by knowledge. And therefore, when one is freed from the false ego by the cultivation of real knowledge, means false identification. Ego means identification, and false ego means the false identification. When we are free from the upadhis by cultivation of real knowledge, he sees himself, and that is the ultimate necessity of human life. That's why Prabhupada is trying many lectures. You are not this body, right? Basic thing. The soul is thus isolated from the entanglement, from 24 categories of material nature. So which is the karmendriyas, jnanendriyas, this whole body, which is made of karmendriyas and jnanendriyas. He becomes disentangled, unentangled, whatever the word is. Pursuit of the systematic philosophic process called Sankhya is called knowledge and self-revelation. Then you can see everything in proper perspective. Okay, so we'll stop there. Read Krishna book. Anything else anybody like to say? So why you become joyful when you realize the self? Because you never die. You don't identify everything that is happening with the body as happening to you. You're the soul. You'll never die. You'll live eternal. You are just passing in this body for a certain. And when you are passing through something, you don't, when you realize that you are just passing through, then you don't make permanent situation. I'm just passing through. Like if you're in transit, you're passing through some hotel where you've been given some accommodation for 2-3 days. You just, you just don't like to do anything in the hotel. You're just passing through. You're kind of detached from it. You're just staying there because your destination is to go somewhere else. You're just staying there. So just like that, we are passing through in this body. As Vaisheshika Prabhu says that, right? He's showing that the changing body exhibit in the Bhagavad Gita. He says, we are just passing through. In different bodies, we are just passing through. The soul is just in the same in every body. Okay? Young body, and then we are just passing through. So we are just passing through this life of few years, whatever its lifespan may be. Yesterday, Radha Maharaj was saying that, Parikshit Maharaj Prabhupada was saying that Parikshit Maharaj knew he has 7 days to live. We don't even have the guarantee of 7 hours or 7 seconds or 7 minutes like that. We don't have even that guarantee. So there is no guarantee of anything. So that's why we should we should not waste time. He's saying the sunset is very beautiful, but if you think about, yes, sunset is beautiful because it is Krishna's creation, this material nature. But with every sunset, we are one day closer to death. Yeah.
Yeah. I was also thinking that, like you were saying, that how will you be joyful when you wake up from the dream? The dream that you are this body, and so many things are happening to you. It all is a dream. Like we have some nightmares. We wake up and we feel happy. We understand. Oh, that was just. So,
Correct. That's a nice example. Yeah. Thank you for. Yeah, in this dream we are suffering. We are thinking, yeah, this is happening, that is happening. But it's like a dream because this body is a dream. This identification, body is real, but the identification with the body is a dream. Prabhupada was saying this body is like a, what did he compare it with? Body is like a, we just read a few days back. It's like a bubble.
mhm. Yeah.
It's like a bubble. Bubble is there and it's gone. So in the same way, this body is there. We saw somebody recently pass away. Then their asti was like merged in the Ganges. That person, that form that we were seeing is now no longer to be seen. That body is gone forever. So similarly, this form that we see in the mirror is going to go away.
Yeah, and all his ashes got filled in 2 bottles. His whole body.
Yeah, all the ashes, yeah, you fill it up. So it'll disappear. So we are identifying with this disappearing body or the body that is going to disappear. And we are thinking, I am this. So that's like a dream. So if we disconnect and say, no, no, I am not this changing body, I am the soul, you are good. I am not rich, I am not poor, I am not beautiful, I am not ugly. These are all designations of the body. So, or the mind also. So, then we are, I am servant of Krishna. That's all. We have to identify as that. Okay, it's 8:30. We want to read Krishna book, but we'll read tomorrow. So, thank you very much.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, everyone. Thank you for